Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us here today on Live at the Legislature. My name is Mika Briot, and today I'm joined with House Representative Andrea Tupola, who is the district rep for District 43, and she's also the minority leader. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Okay, so last time we were on the show, you talked about your ukulele bash. How'd it go?
It was great. So the Ukulele Bash was our second annual. It was on April 20th at Ko'olina, the 4th Lagoon. We definitely want to thank Ko'olina for being a partner in this community activity for a lot of West Side students that actually have never gotten the chance to just come together for an ukulele festival. We have an ukulele festival in Waikiki, as you know, at Kapi'olani. We've had it at the Shell, but we've never had something on the west side. So this year was the second annual. There was over 300 children there. We gave away ukuleles. There was actually young performers that got to participate, as well as a lot of ukulele builders and experts. So we wanted the kids to see both sides, how to create the instrument as well as how to play it. And then a lot of them got to see some really, I think, stars in the up-and-coming ukulele world. I don't know if you know Honoka and Azita as well as Carly G, but two of those girls are actually still in high school, and they are just creating waves across the whole map with the ukulele. So I really wanted to inspire the kids to be able to take part in arts and do something as a legislator to really encourage more arts in the education system.
That's so awesome. Oh my gosh, it's so exciting. I love music, like you, music teacher. So HB 1401 is headed to the governor's desk, and that's the bill relating to mail by voting pilot project. What do you think about it?
So it is a pilot program. It's set to be only done in the county of Kauai, so it's any counties with underneath 100,000 residents, which would be that county. It's set to start in 2020. And so if you read through the bill, there's a lot of different things that it says about making sure that there's multiple drop points for it, that people will have accessibility 10 days before the actual election. So one of the parts of the preamble had stated that there are more people coming out to vote prior to election day. And so they wanted to pilot out and see if this was actually the case, where if we had all mail-in voting, would people be taking advantage of that? Is that a good way to go? So I think it's better than just jumping in and going into a statewide mandate. It's actually a pilot that needs to be evaluated after 2020 to see how many issues they had, whether or not the polling stations were actually workable, whether people knew what the new system was going to be. So I think for anything that we do in the state, it has to have a pilot so that we can actually give people some feedback and know-how about if a mandate was to come or if a law was to be passed about mail-in voting, that there would be some substantial amount of information that we could use as a research base to justify going in a different direction with the elections.
Yeah, I personally vote by mail. It's just so much more convenient. The Office of Elections actually estimated a cost savings of $750,000. What are we going to do with that money?
Well, I definitely think in the Office of Elections, you know, we've seen some election cycles where they ran out of ballots. We've seen some elections where certain polling locations had huge issues. So I'm hoping that we actually just take a new direction with the Office of Elections, try to clean it out, get a little bit more efficient, get into the 21st century and start to take advantage of things that, you know, might save us money, but also might help to make things more efficient.
Right. Efficiency is awesome. So one of your resos, HR 110, and then the House concurrent reso, HR 160, actually passed on both sides, the House and the Senate, unanimously. What was your intent behind that resolution?
So these resolutions deal with utilizing the correct Hawaiian names for places, valleys, on maps, on any education or state printed material, but also the correct spelling of it using kahakos and okinas. And so the intent of this was to really encourage that Hawaiian is the official language with English in the state of Hawaii, and making sure that we actually call these places by their correct names. I mean, have you ever heard of Mokoli'i? Do you know where that is? Have you swam out there, or have you gone out to the lookout at Pu'ualaka'a, or if you've ever been to Keawaula, which these are all words that people don't know because we use other names for it. And so we really want to see the correct names used for these places because there's a history behind it. Because when people learn the history behind these places, they are going to become more connected to this place that we call home, that we call Hawaii, and we need to take this more seriously, that this is an official language, that it is the home culture of our state, and that we should acknowledge it as such.
I don't know where those places are, but I'm pretty sure I've been to them.
Yeah.
So what's ahead this week as session's coming to a close?
Well, today we are having all-day caucus so we can discuss, I believe, 118 bills that are going to be voted on tomorrow. Any bills that came through conference committee, which actually started out with 548 bills. We had the past 2 weeks to kind of look at it, to determine if we're going with the House or the Senate version of it, and that's what we'll be voting on tomorrow. Then we have a recess, and then Thursday, the legislature closes up.
Thursday, wow. Gosh, it seems like it flew by since January, huh?
It's very quick, yes.
Okay, so let's close with a happy thought. What was your favorite moment about this past legislative session?
Well, I definitely think that, making sure that I was able to pass a resolution that had to deal with the Hawaiian culture was important because the governor has stated that this is the year of the Hawaiian. And so a lot of people don't want to see a declaration of the year of the Hawaiian without some substantial differences made so that the people of Hawaii feel like there is some change in the way that we look at the culture, the language. We want to make sure that the judiciary branch as well as other arms of the government acknowledge that there should be interpreters for the Hawaiian language. So I think that for me it was a high. They have the Hawaiian Immersion Day. There was a lot of schools that came through. Punana Leo. We had kaya punis across the state. So I love when students come out, and I love speaking to them and hearing their questions about, what a legislator does, which for me is public service.
Yeah, public service is super awesome. So tell us about what you guys are doing after session.
Well, definitely for me, I have a lot of things going on in the district. We have a cleanup coming up. As you know, I regularly make sure to address illegal dumping, abandoned cars, which I know that there was a bill that passed through for abandoned cars, but it still is going to take people to actually get down to the road and make it happen. A bill doesn't just make all of the cars get off the road. You got to really call those agencies, call those tow companies, get all the wheels moving, literally get them moving off the street. And so cleanups, we have emergency preparedness fair on August 18th, which I host every year for my community. We have a town hall coming up to update the community on the Maili contamination that happened with the U.S. Coast Guard. We have a few more town halls that we have to get through. We have the back to school bash where we have Nanakuli Elementary get their enrollment done so that their school year starts off with the right number and the right amount of teachers. So lots of exciting stuff, definitely community minded, making sure that we still are listening to the concerns of our community and addressing it even after the legislative session is over.
That's so awesome, keeping yourself busy. Well, that's all we have for today, folks. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great day. Aloha.